X out and fly. This is going to be the play that guys are going to try and run and bring in when either they're bringing that FP off tackle L in the second slot, or if they're using the pitch L open. So 5 receiver play, you're going to notice wide receiver number 1 sort of hitches, and then eventually, yes, this is a typical result, winds up actually leading the play out of bounds. So he's not actually that good of a option to be able to go in because he does have this motion that he's trying to run. But the thing is that by having him, it forces the man to respect that particular play. And you see here eventually stops, as I recall. So that's kind of iffy. But again, for the time that you're making the man have to cover him, it's worthwhile. So you got this stationary guy there, that's kind of iffy. Another one over here. And then finally you got this guy that tends to be the option. He's running back number 1. That's coming out of the backfield. So a couple things that guys will do with him. So the first thing is they'll try to run these quick hitters. So see right here, in this case he gets picked up. I'm going to throw him open right here. But they'll run these quick hitters with him, and the idea being that if you're out covering one of the deep guys initially, then this guy's going to wind up being open. And as you can see there, because he takes such a circuitous route there, there's like sort of wheel routes, and then he comes back in the middle. As he takes such a circuitous route, you have a number of ways that you can get the ball to him. So you can get it to him down there. If he's trying to get to it early, you can delay on it, and then here, right, he comes up, and well, in that case, he doesn't really lead up, kind of shifted down. It makes it a little bit more awkward. But then he'll go lead up, and then once he leads up, then you have another way. Threw a little bit too quickly. But that can be good if you're in a situation where you're trying to like run the quarterback, and then if you're trying to run the quarterback, what'll happen is the guy will follow him on the air patrol, and then here it's not easy to show, but you can hold him down there if that's, if he's trying to just stop like a quick play, or if he's more delaying on this particular situation, then you come down here. Well, in that case, I actually probably picked up his coverage. Sort of Dave Krieg play. If you then run it down there, winds up happening is, right, you see there, you're forcing the guy to go one or the other, and his momentum is probably going to take him into a place that's not ideal. So likely what he's going to try and do is pass block you. Either that or he's going to bail out, and then you're going to get a nice little run, which with a guy like Testaverde is a worthwhile play. And then this is the orthodox throw, the orthodox angle if you're just trying to hit him stationary, as you would if you have an iffy quarterback. So that's the basic concept of this play. We haven't talked about wide receiver number 2 yet. We'll see if we can get to him right after this break. So then you sort of think about, well, what are the options on a called play? So on a called play, and I never threw to him when it wasn't a called play. Well, okay, fine. I guess we'll do it that way. So called play, we'll come back to wide receiver number 2 later. You got 1, 2, 3, and he's stationary. Now Testaverde is not the most accurate quarterback, so you notice the X was off in a place that was iffy. 3. Well, I'll just throw it to him normally, just so you see that. Come back to the called play. 3. He's nice on X. This is a throw that most Tecmo quarterbacks can complete, which is always good. Another thing you'll see is guys will try to go to running back number 1 coming out of the backfield. So they'll go 2, 3, 4, and they'll try to throw at this one. Now you notice this is dangerous because right there, you're right in the middle of 2 guys. But if they're hanging on that guy, then obviously that's the option that they're going to go to. So let's throw it out to wide receiver number 2 and is disappointing. Which is normally, I mean, wide receiver number 2 is disappointing on this play. I mean, it's just, guy goes vertical. I mean, if it's open, it's open. If it's not open, it's not open. So, in theory, would lead a little bit to the top, but in practice, the way I typically see this play getting run is usually, and I'm back in the end zone. This is usually not the kind of pressure situation, but usually he's not going to take that indicated route to the top there. That was unfortunate for them. Usually he doesn't actually wind up doing that little hitch there, at least not when I see the play getting run. See if we can run it from this side, it would get a different result. Curl of death right there, but you also see that because of that other receiver, the passing lane isn't there for that play. So you can't really throw that curl of death the same way that you would on a play that has different spacing. So, again, you see here, the problem is that if you wait for this play, wait for the iffy quarterbacks to be able to throw the ball at this guy, all the guys are in a line, basically, if you're taking it from the top. So that's kind of not ideal. Why I tend to shy away from this. But, again, it is a good... Well, I can actually throw the ball. It is a good play. It's just that I tend to prefer the red gun because you have a little bit better receiver space. You have a lot more places that the ball can go to. Whereas in this guy, it's pretty much if you attract the deep coverage, then again right there he sort of gets it, but leads him right in coverage. But then you're stuck with that receiver clump, and you wind up throwing the football, or wind up running the football with the quarterback as opposed to having to try and play chicken with the air patroller on that play. So that's the other outcome of this running back number 1 is he'll just run right out of bounds when you throw it to him early. There, this ball is gone. And yeah, it's a safe place. It's not necessarily that it's a bad play, but you would prefer that you actually had an option to be able to get somebody open, like some of the other alternatives that you have in this slot. So anyway, that's the story of X Out and Fly. Hopefully you learned a little bit. And yeah, leave your comments and feedback, and I'll see you next time.